Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Tamara. If you're new here, my channel primarily consists of beauty, a little bit of fashion, a little bit of lifestyle. Today we're getting ready for a wedding. We're going for a full glam look. It is early. It is like 10 something in the morning. The wedding is at 11:30. I'm really pushing it right now. I actually wanted to start getting ready a little bit earlier, but I still have the croak in my voice, so like tiredness kind of got me. I was actually gonna do like a full breakdown with this because it's wedding season. Wedding season is among us. Plenty of us are gonna need to know how to do our makeup as wedding guests, so I'm here to walk you through it. Instead of actually talking you through it, I'm gonna do a voiceover today because I am a little bit stressed right now because I'm starting a little bit late. And you know, anxiety's kind of kicking my ass right now. It's just gonna be better for me and more relaxing for me to do it that way, so let's get into it. So first thing that you want to do when you are doing your makeup, you want to make sure that your base is prepped. I'm using the MAC hyperserumizer. It's like a really good moisturizer to use before you start your makeup. You also want to do your skin prep before, so sunscreen, moisturizer, eye cream, all that. That is going to give you the best option for a good base. It's early. I have potassium, so I knew that my eye was going to be droopy. So I use this eye drop that my coworker gave me, and it's supposed to help lift your eyelids when they're like drooping a little bit. So that's what I'm using. I will list it down below if you have the same issue. When I'm tired, my eye is just more droopy, and I don't do eye drops well. So that's why I'm shook, essentially. I'm going in with my Fenty Hydrating Primer. I use this all the time. I have normal to dry skin. I really like the hydrating one and what it does for my skin, so that's why I always use it. When you are doing your makeup, you want to make sure that you have like full coverage, quality products, so make sure to stock up on that before you start this look. I also have very thick eyebrows right now, so I use a brow lift, brow gel. Right now I use the e.l.f. brow lift. It works like super well to tame these eyebrows because my eyebrows are not shaped right now. They're just super thick. I'll go for that like laminated brow look, and I'll use this ABH tool to really stick it to my face. I wait to actually shape it because when you try and do it when it's wet, it just gets really messy. Lately, I've been starting with my eyes. I'll go in with a concealer that's pretty close to my skin shade. You can use a primer if you want to, like an eye primer. A concealer works really well for me. It's easier for me to start with my eye look these days because you don't have like product falling out into your makeup, and it's just like easier to control, especially when you're going full glam. So much is going on that it's just easier to start with your eyes. I'm using my Patrick Ta Major Dimensions palette. Love this palette. I figured it'd be perfect for the occasion. It has plenty of colors that work. I usually start with a brown transition shade. For some reason, it's not really showing up. I'm not really sure why, but usually it shows up for me. But you want to start with a transition shade, whether it's like a lighter brown, or if you're going for a pink look, a lighter pink, just like a lighter color of what you're going for in order to start building dimension. I really like this makeup artist called Kevin Long. So my eyeshadow look is kind of like based on what I think he does. I like to create this like elongated look, so I'll create like this little wing with a darker shade. And because the brown was not showing up in the way that I wanted it to, in order to like deepen my crease and really like define my eyes, I went in with that darker shadow and kind of just like patted it on the outside while also maintaining that elongated crease that I'm talking about. I went in really heavy on this side, but it's fine. Most important thing, I think, when you're doing like a full glam look, make sure that you have quality products. So it doesn't have to be a Patrick Ta palette, but make sure that you have things that are going to pay off. Otherwise, you're going to be like fighting with these products, and you definitely don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you have like high quality foundation. You want to make sure that you have a good primer. You want to make sure that you have a good eyeshadow palette, just so the look will come together the way that you want it to. Because this is an early wedding, it's an 11:30 a.m. wedding, I wanted to do like a nice like neutral look. And that's also why I kind of didn't want to do that darker brown shade, because like I wanted it to still look daytime. If I wanted to go like more like in your face full glam, I definitely would have gone with darker colors, but because it's early, I wanted to make sure things still look like daytime. So I went in with this khaki shade. It's not showing up the way that I really wanted it to. I'm not really sure. I was kind of struggling this morning because I definitely thought that I would have started this earlier, but I didn't. You know, it's the advocate in me. It's the I work 40 hours a week in me. Because I didn't like how that brown was showing up, I went into my Supreme Nudes palette, which is also a very good palette. It's definitely more affordable than the Patrick Ta palette. So I went back in and I just added a little bit more brown to the crease just so it like popped out a little bit more. Like I said, I usually will wait till my brows dry in order to go in and line them. I don't do anything special. It's not that interesting. I use the One Size Brow Kiki. I really like it. It's really easy to control. It's pretty soft. And I will just like shape my brows and then just fill in any areas where there's sparseness. I don't really like a dark brow, so I will go in as light as possible. For some reason today I decided not to like line it with concealer, but I will also line it with concealer just to like clean things up. But today I decided not to do that. And then I will go in with a brush just to like comb out like the brush stroke so it doesn't look like line, line, line. Just to make them look clean. Because I do have dark circles, I always have to use a color corrector. This Sigma Duo color corrector, I think that's what it's called. I use it in the color dark to deep. It has become my favorite. I used to use the lift tinted one, which is great. It's an orange, which is great for darker skin tones to cancel out the darkness. But this dual corrector has been working really well for me. So I go in with that first just to cover up my dark circles because we don't want those peeking through. I started using an eye cream that I actually think really helps. We want to use high quality products here. So I'm using the Nars Soft Matte Foundation. Such a good foundation. I like a more matte finish. I think I'm kind of growing out of that and moving into like the dewy, but like if you have oily skin, matte's really good. In general, this foundation is so good when you're going for like a full coverage look. Like the coverage on it is beautiful. It looks like so good on my skin. Look at my skin. I think it looks great. And you're gonna be blending for a while. You wanna blend, you're gonna blend, and you're gonna be blending a little bit more. I like to spray my brush just so like it spreads a little bit easier. Made a little mistake and forgot that I did my eyes first and I put a foundation brush over it. It's fine. It was fine. I wanted a little bit more coverage, so I went in with a little bit more, but you don't need to see me blend anymore, so I just skipped over the blending part. As I was saying previously, high quality, full coverage products. My Too Faced concealer is my absolute favorite. I am a 2 concealer girl when I do my makeup. So I'll go in with a shade that's a little bit more my shade and then one that's more highlighting. Gotta let that dry and gotta spray it down. I almost forgot to spray it down. You're gonna see me here in a second spray it down. Gotta do that just so it like sticks better and gives you more coverage. If you want full glam, you absolutely need to use a brush. This brush is from Real Techniques. It's like a cat pot. It's like very easy to use. I will list everything that I use down below. But if you want full coverage, you absolutely have to use a brush. And I would highly suggest using a brush because when you use the sponge, it kind of like takes off some of the product. But when you use the brush, it like doesn't take off as much product. So if you're going for full glam, use a brush. Use a brush for foundation, use a brush for your concealer, use a brush basically for everything. If you see me looking to the side or like clicking anything on the side, I was doing TikTok and I was doing YouTube. So if you ever see me look to the side, I was doing both. So that's why I'm doing that. When it comes to concealer, like I said, I am a 2 concealer girl. I like to highlight and use a shade that's about the same skin tone as mine. With highlighting, I think people say like go like 2 to 3 shades lighter. I like to do like 3 to 4. I just really like a highlighted look. I like when you have like a bright under eye. Everything just looks multi-dimensional. Your face doesn't look flat, so I always go like 3 to 4 shades lighter. Using the Too Faced once again, and then obviously letting it dry. And then going back in with that same brush that I was using before, I'm basically going in a motion that's like to lift the eye. So instead of just like dragging it out to the side, I'm just bringing it up so it gives me that lifted look. You are going to be blending for a while. When you're doing full glam, it's all about the blend. You just blend, 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 blend. So that's all I'm doing here. Lots of blending. Try not to ruin my eye makeup look. Just carrying it as high as I can and then bringing it down into the cupid's bow, doing it down into like the chin, the forehead, all of that. Yeah, this part's just blending. Lots of blending. So much blending. What I do after I'm all done with blending out my concealers, I will go back through with a sponge and just like pick up any extra product that is laid down, and it just gives myself like a cleaner look too. So I'll just go back through with my wet sponge. You gotta wet that beauty blender. Mine's from Real Techniques, so it's not a beauty blender, but You gotta wet it and then just like blend it all out. Make sure there's no extra product and make sure everything just like seeps into the skin so well. I feel like my base is looking pretty good if I do say so myself. What I have started doing, because I'm starting to get this situation where like my eyes will like pill under, my concealer will start to fall apart. So the girlies have said, what you got to do is you got to go in with like a pressed powder first. So I'm going in with this Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder. I think this is the only one that I have. It is in 2, it's like way too light, but I mean, it works. But it looks really like blurred and good. I'm just doing it under my eye because that's where the issue usually is, where my eyes start to fall apart. And then I will go in with my loose setting powder. Of course, I'm going in with my Huda Beauty one. What I like to do is like dust off some of the powder first on my hand, so it's not like a ton on my face, and then it's also even when I'm putting it on my under eye. So I'll go under eye here, and then I'll also go basically in all the areas that I put the concealer as well. So we'll go into the chin, and then we'll go into forehead as well. I like to go over my eyebrows just like a little bit, just because I used wax. They do get a little shiny, and we don't like that. Next up is contouring. Usually I like to go in with a more like cool shade, but my Fenty one is more warm. I actually just started using this recently. It's real hard to blend. Like, it's real hard. Like, it doesn't go anywhere. Like, it's real hard to blend. You gotta use quite a bit to get some coverage. So I just spray my forehead a little bit just to get it to melt down a little bit more. But this is just bringing more dimension to my face. So it's chiseling out my cheek area a little bit more. Face is looking sharp, chiseled, all of that. Making sure that I don't have like a 5 chin. I use this nice little contour brush from Sephora. It's like super precise. I really like it. And it also brings a lot more warmth back to my face when I use this color. As you can see, the jaw's getting chiseled. I'll go like right under my cheeks and then along my jaw just to like really carve things out. Do you see how it like doesn't move? Oh, Fenty, I don't know, Rihanna, I don't know. Why doesn't it move? Why do I have to like put in so much work? Why do I have to put in so much like arm grease in order to get this to move? Please give me answers. It's definitely a pretty color though, but it's just like work. To set that cream, I like to go in with, I was going to use a bronzer regardless, but to set the cream, I like to go in with a powder bronzer. My current favorite full coverage one is the Mcgrath bronzer. It is so pretty. It is so full coverage. It brings like so much warmth back to your face. It gives you dimension. It gives you all of that. If you're in the market for a new bronzer, 10 out of 10 recommend. Mcgrath always has sales, so I would wait for a sale, but I go over basically all the areas where I put my contour to just set that product. In order to make sure that I'm not leaving like a fingerprint on my face, I use the little powder puff to kind of draw my eye out so that I can create my liner look. It's also from one size. It's super easy to use. I basically kind of follow like the wing that I already created with the eyeshadow. So same thing, it just gives that elongated look. At this point, I'm like panicking, so like I don't even know where my positioning is in the camera, what my lighting is. I'm like, we just got to get this done. Time is a ticking. Recently, I've started like lining my full eye. I feel like it just like looks so much better full coverage wise. So I'll go in with like a black and just line the inside of my eyes to make them pop a little bit more. To finish off the eye look, we got to put on some mascara. So I'm big on priming my eyes first. So I'll use this volumious lash primer before I go in with my actual mascara. And I will put mascara on before I put on lashes. I'm going to put on lashes this look. So usually I'll put glue on my lashes and then I'll go in with my mascara. And while I'm putting that on, the lash glue is drying. So by the time that I'm done with my mascara, I can now pop on my lashes because the lash glue is done. Pro tip, don't have to use it, but I just find it easier that way. I use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish for every look, but like if you want like a nice little like flawless airbrush finish, go in with this under your eye for sure. Basically all the places where I put in concealer is where I put it, just to like pull the entire look together. Usually I have like a lash tool thing to help do it, but I was in a rush at this point. So like, let's just pop these things on and go. I forgot to put on blush. This is like, I'm in pure panic mode at this point. Because usually I would put on blush before I even went in with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. But because I'm panicking, you see me looking at time, I'm like, bruh, I gotta go. My cousin's texting me, where are you? Are you getting ready? I'm like, yes, I'm getting ready, but I'm also filming, so I'm on D&D. I usually put myself on D&D when I'm filming. So I went in with blush from Juvias Place. Super pigmented, super pretty. Like I said, get you some high quality products to do this look. It doesn't have to be super expensive. It can be like drugstore adjacent. Obviously, I'm using my all-nighter to set my face. I'm super into body glow right now, so I went with my Fenty body butter, because what I hear is you got to put down a lotion first. First and foremost is a smell good, so you smell good, and then you throw on your like radiance oil, and then that helps with like your gleam sticking, and I'm very big on that right now. I went in with my e.l.f. Dewy Setting Spray. It's become like one of my favorites. It gives you like the perfect little glow. Lip part is usually the same. I go in with my Makeup Forever Limitless Brown. I always like a brown to line my lip. I'm using this ABH Lip Velvet for the first time. I wasn't sure how it was going to look, but like, it was like perfect for this. Like, I didn't really want a glossy look, but I could have put gloss over it, but I thought the color was perfect. It's like very neutral, goes with like my dress and everything. And it feels really good on the lips. It's like super soft. But this is the final product. Hair's looking good, skin's looking good. Lash is a little bit wonky, but overall my makeup came out super well. I'm going in with the dewy spray again just because it comes out like a mist, so sometimes I feel like it just like isn't working the way that it's supposed to. But I am out of time. I need to go. Hopefully it helps for your own full glam look. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share all of that. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.